Hello and welcome back to Love Advice TV. My name is Coach Adrian, and in this video, I wanted to talk about obsessing over an ex and how that can be a barrier. Obviously, most of you watching this video have very strong feelings for your significant other, and you realize that you guys can be happy together, that you can grow and evolve and meet their needs, and repair some of the mistakes that you may have made in the past. But there's a difference between being motivated to rebuild a relationship and loving your significant other and obsessing over them. And from time to time, a client will reach out to me being in this state of obsession, and it can become a barrier because you are no longer able to take simple steps in order to advance the process because you're a prisoner of that obsession, of those strong, strong feelings. It is different than the fear of losing your significant other. It's just this need and this desire to be connected to them right now. And unfortunately, it prevents you from taking a long-term outlook and approach to this process of breakup recovery. You're in this state of excruciating pain and you want it to be resolved right away. And so obviously this causes you to take certain actions, certain steps that may not be timely. And in essence, you're a prisoner of yourself, of the ego, and of this need for immediate gratification and validation. And the challenge then becomes one of detachment. You need to work on being able to detach from that obsession, and you need to be able to work on being more patient. Otherwise, you're going to make huge mistakes, and you're going to push your significant other to not want to even hear from you. In some cases, people get blocked everywhere, and they have no possible means of communicating with their significant other, and they still get creative by creating, new fake social accounts, or by just turning up at their work or at their doorstep, and that's really bad. It's really bad because on top of creating frustration and distrust, your significant other or this person that you love may start to fear you. And, that's how oftentimes you're put then in a situation where you're forced not to see your significant other at the risk of experiencing significant repercussions or punishment. And so really, I urge you to, if you recognize yourself in this video, if you feel like you're really obsessing over your significant other, you may need to see this as a long-term process to get them back. And I urge you really to take time to heal, take time to digest what happened, to really grieve the relationship before taking steps towards trying to win them back. Because everything that you will do will be coming from a place of despair, desperation, that is not attractive, that's going to create distrust like we talked about. And so really you need to be kind with yourself too, and start to remember that there's a life outside of this relationship, that you have an identity outside of this relationship, and that your significant other's love cannot define your sense of self-worth. They cannot validate your identity. And, I have great compassion for you because I deal with individuals who are in this type of mindset every day. And a lot of times, the saddest element is that sometimes you're obsessed with the idea of a relationship that wasn't healthy to begin with. Oftentimes, your sense of self and identity is so closely tied to the relationship because you were in a codependent relationship where you lived exclusively through your partner. And so that obsession becomes not just a veil and a barrier towards getting them back, but it becomes a barrier towards your own happiness and fulfillment. And oftentimes we won't even know if it's possible to get them back and to create a new and healthy relationship until you're able to work through that obsession and to really detach and to be grounded in a place of well-being. So think in terms of an identity crisis, and the obsession is perhaps the result, the manifestation of that identity crisis. And that's your challenge. Your challenge is to be able to reinvent yourself and to create a life where you're fulfilled and happy despite not getting validation from this person that you love. That should be your sole focus before you take any step towards them. Before you try to put a plan in place to rebuild communication, you need to work on that element. And if you don't know how, reach out to us. It would be my pleasure to work with you in a one-on-one coaching session to make sure that you have the right tools in place and the right support system also to start to advance in that direction. Every step you take will lead to a mistake unless you're able to deal with that obsession. I talk about the 10 most common mistakes that people make. It's a free, powerful video that you can access in the description below. And if you are driven by obsession, you're bound to make one of those 10 mistakes over and over and over again. And then, of course, that means that you're bound to keep pushing your significant other, or this person that you love, over and over again, pushing them away and away and away until it becomes a lost cause and impossible to rebuild a healthy relationship. So please check that out. I hope this was helpful. And good people, strong individuals can lose themselves in a dynamic like this, in a relationship like this. It's not a reflection of your self-worth. You are amazing. You just perhaps got too caught up and lost yourself. And my job and my hope is to help you find yourself again, so that in turn we can then approach this in a healthy way. We can approach this process of breakup recovery in a healthy way. Not being obsessed with the end result, but finding meaning in the journey of personal transformation and self-rediscovery. Because that's where the good stuff is. That's where the magic happens, and that's how you develop those qualities and attributes that will serve you in every area of your life, including your love life. So as always, thank you for your trust. Thank you for being tuned in. Keep fighting the good fight more than ever, and see you soon for another video on Love Advice TV.